Welcome back to Sports Center. David and Nicole here with you. Game 4, Timberwolves Warriors wrapping up just a short time ago. Let's get into it. Steph's still out. He'll be reevaluated on Wednesday. And Ant's doing a little heat check pregame, and then, yeah, he drops in night-night. I don't think Steph does that pregame, but whatever. And then Edwards just inside the logo at the end of the first half. I mean, that's out there in Marin County. Long three. That's the way you go into the locker room. Timberwolves still down 2 at halftime, but in the third quarter, they continued that momentum, and it was all Ant. Goes to the left there, swerving through the D. A few possessions later, putting it on the floor again, and that's an even tougher creation with the left. Makes the foul shot, puts the Timberwolves up by 3. Then Ant pull up, triple, got it. Timberwolves on a 12-zip run. A couple possessions later, the steal. Julius Randle bringing it down. Dante DiVincenzo, who has not been shooting well in this series, gets one there. It's a 15-zip run. Then Edwards, mid-range, probably should get a man on him. A 17-0 run, their longest of the postseason. Ant had 30 points. Timberwolves won the third quarter by 22. There's Randle doing chin-ups. It's an 18-point lead. Fourth quarter, Jaden McDaniels getting to the rack. I said Ant had 30, Randle had 31. Started off huge and finishes with that number. And the Timberwolves hold on to win this one 117-110 to go up 3-1 in the series. New on SportsCenter, here's Steve Kerr.
Where did you see the main issues defensively tonight?
Well, they went 16 for 34 from 3. It felt like there were some in the third quarter where we got disconnected defensively, and they got wide open looks. I also thought they hit some really tough shots as well. They played a great game, and obviously took it to us, and we got to bounce back. We got a flight to Minneapolis tomorrow and a chance to extend the series, and that's the plan.
Steve, hypothetical, but if Steph on game day said, I feel I can go, I want to give it a try, would he go then, or is there a possibility he would be overruled?
When are we giving the update? Wednesday we'll have an update.
Steve, after taking 26 shots in Game 3, Jimmy only has 9 tonight. What were you seeing from him, what the Wolves are doing defensively, and just how he was playing overall?
Well, he wasn't as aggressive tonight, but I didn't see a lot of openings either. It's ideally we could put more shooting around him to open up the floor a little bit. With Steph out, we're not going to be able to do as much of that. But with that said, we'll look at the tape and see where we can find some openings for him, and I know he'll be aggressive for Game 5.
Steve, another tough shooter.
Hi, that's Steve Kerr, new on SportsCenter. Let's hear from Draymond Green.
Game 5.
Before I start, I want to apologize to y'all. I didn't talk the other day. I was quite a bit frustrated and very careful of, didn't want to get myself fined, but more so say something to make it sound like an excuse when you struggle and lose. And I didn't come up here and talk, and I felt like a coward when I got home, so I wanted to apologize to y'all for that. As far as 3, we just got to win a game. Win one game, take it from there. I think that's our mindset. Do all that we can, figure out a way to win one. You win one, everything changes. So that'll be our mindset going into Game 5.
Draymond, players like Ant are going to get theirs at some point in the game, but do you think that tonight was more a lack of a defensive effort on you guys, or just some star power that they had?
They hit shots. They shot the ball extremely well. I thought we defended good in spurts, but they got going, and we never was able to put out the fire. So got to give them a lot of credit. Kind of felt like they were due for a great shooting night. Sucks that it had to be tonight, but it was, and we just got to figure it out and coming back in Game 5.
mean, you guys were closing the half really well, and then
All right, it all turned in that fateful third quarter for the Warriors, who led at the half and then just got blitzed by the Wolves in the third, outscored 39-17. Timberwolves forced 6 turnovers in the final 8 minutes of the quarter with the game tied. Minnesota went on a 29-9 run, and now they've got the 3-1 series lead, and we've got Brian Windhorst joining us now to talk about this. The Wolves are an interesting team here, Brian, because midway through the season, they're kind of sideways and somewhat of a disappointment, and now they're catching fire here in the springtime. What have you seen out of them these last 3 games that makes you think this is a legit contender here?
Well, I've been very impressed by their all-business attitude on the 2 games in Golden State. You know, last year they got up 2-0 in their series against the Nuggets. They went back home, dropped those 2 games, and they had a very impressive win in Game 7 on the road in Denver. By the time they got to the conference finals, which was a huge moment for their franchise, they were exhausted, David. And I think they saw an opportunity here to come out to Golden State without Steph Curry, play some good games, and really take a stranglehold on the series and give themselves a chance going forward. That is exactly what they did. I thought all business, especially in the second half here. Ant Edwards saw an opportunity, really attacked, was able to create separation. Julius Randle got it done in the first half, and the 2 of them working together, they're really defining this last section of the season for the Wolves. They finished extremely strong, 18-3, and they've carried that over into the playoffs, and they are not their 6th seed. They were a different team by the time they got to the playoffs. I think we have now seen that in this series as well.
Yeah, okay, so they're up 3-1, looking to close out in Game 5 coming up on Wednesday. The Knicks are in the same spot after a really impressive performance. Of course, that's sort of overshadowed a little bit, Brian, by the terrible injury to Jason Tatum, one of the best players in the game. With that injury included in the question, what do you think of the series moving forward at this point?
Yeah, I want to say 2 things about this game. One, the Knicks were brilliant in the second half of this game. They did a great job staying attached in the first half. Jalen Brunson was awesome in the third quarter, and he got teammates to support him. They were going to win this game either way without the Tatum injury, and they were going to be ahead rightfully 3-1. Now you look going forward, the Tatum injury has completely gutted the Celtics, even though they don't have a definitive diagnosis until tomorrow. He is almost certainly going to miss time, potentially a lot of time. I will say this, though. The Celtics were 8-2 when Tatum didn't play this year. They are a very good road team. They are excellent. This series is not over, and the Knicks understand that, and so do the Celtics.
Very interesting. We'll see how it all plays out. The champs against the ropes right now. We'll see what happens in Game 5. Brian giving us his thoughts on tonight's NBA action.
You know, we had classic Lloyd Christmas earlier in the day, so you're saying there's a chance. The Mavericks, with their 1.8% chance to win the draft lottery, have done just that. Just how that man, Nico Harrison, drew it up, right? So I would say Cooper Flag is headed to Dallas. However, this is also the same organization that traded away Luka Doncic.